Doing good. Things could be worse.
How would you describe your emotions right now?
I don't want to say I'm over it, but I think I was just disappointed last night. I got home, held my son, watched the boxing card that happened last night. It was an exciting card. But I think doing both of those things kind of calmed me down, and got up this morning and I was like, man, the season over. I don't want to watch no playoffs. I don't want to watch no games. Just kind of in one of those moods. But we had a great season. I think getting home court, I don't remember the last time Trailblazers had home court, but I'm sure it's been a long time. We worked hard. We improved in a lot of areas and got all the way to the playoffs. And coming into the playoffs, we didn't play our best basketball down the stretch. New Orleans played great down the stretch against a lot of high-quality opponents. And in the series, they just outplayed us. I think they came in with a great defensive game plan against us. They had guys shooting the ball really well offensively. They got production from a lot of guys from top to bottom. Every guy that played minutes for them came in and impacted the game in a positive way. And you got to take your hat off to them, for the effort that they had in that series. And we just didn't play well enough to get it done.
Damian, as the best player on the team and face of the franchise, how hard is it for you to have a lot of the pressure from the series on your shoulders?
I think it comes with the territory. For every high moment that we have, people will be the first to say, it was Dame time, or Dame did this, or Dame did that. And I can handle that credit or that positive energy with a level head, and it's fine, So just understanding that position, you got to be able to handle the negative side too, when things don't go well. And, maybe it's not your fault, or, maybe people aren't watching it and dealing in reality of what's actually happening. Like in this series, they'll say Dame didn't do this and Dame didn't do that. And the reality of it is, their game plan was to take me out. And I come across half court and there's two guys guarding me and the third guy waiting to help. And that's what I call being up against it. And, they sold out with that. So there's really no excuse on my behalf. I just understand that you got to take the good with the bad. And just like I can accept the credit when I do great things, I accept the criticism and, all the, I guess, bad things that people might have to say about me when it doesn't go well, because that's part of my responsibility, as, I guess, the franchise player and being an all-star and all of the things that I call myself. So I accept it. I know that it won't break me down. It won't shake me mentally. It won't change who I am. It won't change how I feel about myself. So, I accept it, and you move on. I know that I'm gonna always continue to work. I recently had a kid, and it kind of puts things in perspective. Right after the game, I'm walking out of the locker room, and I come off the podium, and I'm just playing all these things back in my head. And as soon as I walk out, the first person I see is my dad, and then I see my mom, and then I see my cousin Britt. And these are the same people that's been there my entire life. And, it clicked to me that, I get to play the game that I love for a living. I get to do it at a high level. I get to be one of the highest paid players to do it, one of the most respected to do it. I get to play for a great organization, for great coaches. It's a lot of positives that I could take away from it. And at the end of the day, I'm going home to people that love me. It could be a lot worse. Once I step off the floor, I could not have support. I could not have people that care about me, and I know that I really have that. So it's not like my next season is taken away. We continue to move forward, and we're going to continue to have opportunities to do better things. But you got to take situations like this and learn from it. One team gets to be the champion at the end of the year. And this year, that won't be us.
Dave, obviously much was made about your meeting with Paul a couple months ago. If you were to meet with him again tomorrow or next week, what would your message to him be?
I'm not sure. You know, the meeting that we had at the beginning of the season, like I've been saying, it wasn't me making any demands or me making a big deal about anything. It was simply, you know, how can we be better? You know, what steps can we take in the right direction to where we can move towards a championship? And I think that's a question that anybody would ask, anybody would want to know. And that didn't mean I went in there saying I need answers right now, you know, because I don't know, and maybe he doesn't either. But, you know, it's important for us to be able to have that conversation if that's truly what we want. And I don't think anything would change if we were to have that conversation again. You know, just trying to find that that understanding of what do we need to do.
Do you get the sense that there are going to be big changes this summer, or do you think it's kind of going to stay as is? And what are your thoughts on that?
I'm not sure. I'm not the guy making decisions, but, you know, I think since I've been here, like I said, it's a great organization. You know, I think everybody's done a great job. Coach Stotts has done a great job from day one. We've been in the playoffs 5 years straight. It's a lot of teams that have really, really talented rosters. You know, they have really big names and, you know, maybe a big market and all, they have all these things and they're not making the playoffs, you know, which says it could be, you know, what they're not getting from players or what they're not getting from their coaching staff. But we've gotten that for 5 years straight. So people have done a great job around here, our training staff, everybody that we work with every day, you know, that's made contributions to, you know, the kind of environment that we've created. You know, everybody's done a great job. It's been a pleasure to come to work all the time and to spend time around, you know, everybody that we see every day. You know, Neil is around a lot. You know, I think he's done a great job. And, you know, like I said, whatever decisions are to be made or whatever, they aren't my decisions to make. So.
Do you hope you're included in those decisions if they were to happen?
I mean, I would want to know, of course, you know, because it's a situation that I'm a part of. And, you know, when you make, anytime big changes are made, you know, it can have an impact on me as a player and on my career. So, of course, I'd like to know. You know, I'd like to be a part of that process.
What do you think this team is missing, Dan?
I'm not sure. You know, I'm sure some people will look at it and say, well, this team needs this kind of player and they need that. But I'm not sure because you look around and you say, okay, Golden State won the championship in 2015. They had Steph, they had Clay. You know, Draymond had a great season. And then they just had really complementary pieces. You know, they just had guys that came in and did a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And it was really done by committee. And I honestly feel that our team is capable of something like that. So it's hard for me to say.
How do you categorize this season? You had a couple guys mention it was a roller coaster of a ride, and just curious how you view this year.
I didn't think it was a roller coaster. I thought to start the season we were fighting, trying to be consistent. You know, in our first meeting of the year, Coach just talked about being consistent and being committed to that. And, you know, we came out, and I think our team was so focused on being a much better defensive team that we struggled on offense. And we did that. I think we got off to a pretty slow start. I remember at one point we finished the road trip in New York, and we were 13-8 coming back home. And I was like, all right, this is what we're gonna turn the corner right here. You know, we're gonna put it together. We had a home stretch, and I think we ended up losing like every home game after that for a little while. And I was just like, man, you know, we talking about being consistent, and then we go and do this. But I think that was kind of the rocky point of the season. But then after that, I thought we started to play good basketball, you know, and then leading up into our 13-game win streak, we played really, really solid basketball. And, all the way up until the end of the season. You know, that last road trip, we dropped off 4 games, but I thought we had a pretty solid season. You know, we had more wins than every team in the Western Conference except 2. So, you know, that's pretty good.
You credited New Orleans' defensive game plan. Are you concerned that in the future other teams will follow that plan and be able to slow you down, or was it a perfect storm with the players that they had?
I don't think every team has the personnel to do that. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if teams tried it. But it's also something to be said about the fact that it's a playoff series. You know, they didn't have to play us and then go to Sacramento on a back-to-back. You know, so it wasn't like anything else was on their mind. You know, in the playoffs, you come up with a game plan, you lock in on one team, specific players, and you stick to that. And you know, I don't think teams are doing that in the regular season.
Dame, how would you respond to the narrative that you and CJ need to be split up for this team to take that next step?
I mean, I don't agree with it. I think it's that simple. I think that's the easiest thing to say, but I don't agree with it.
Damian, you're a guy who's typically done a lot in the offseason. I'm curious if that's going to change at all now that you have a child. I know that you go to China typically every year. You have kind of those things. So I'm curious if you figured that out yet.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I won't be moving around as much. Last summer I moved around less than I normally do. So, I mean, just as I get older, I've slowed down. When I was younger, I'd just randomly be like, oh, I'm going to go to Vegas today. And me and my friends would go to Vegas. And then I'll come home for a few days and I'll say, all right, I'm going to go to Oakland. and then I'm going to go to Utah. It was just so much random stuff. I was just bouncing around all over the place. And now I sit in one spot, you know, for a much longer period of time. And now that I have a kid, I'm sure I'll sit in one spot even longer. But he'll be able to travel, so whenever I do want to do something, I'll just take him with me.
Do you have like one of the chest holder things where you put it in the back?
Nah. I can't see myself doing that, so I'm just gonna have to get my arm tired from holding him. Yeah, switch arms.
Are you surprised the places you go, man? You give it.
Man.
Hey, when you look back on this season, will you remember it more for the successes, the 49 wins, division title, all that, or the way it ended?
I mean, I think I always remember the way it ended, but I won't forget the kind of season that we had. You know, you can't ignore the fact that, you know, we won a division title in a division where it was some great teams. You know, it was a great year in the Western Conference, a great year in our division, and, you know, we came out on top, and we came out in the top half of the Western Conference as well. Just a special season, you know, for our team, and for me individually. I know last summer I did a lot of things, and, you know, I was prepared for this season. I came in sharp. I was ready, and I felt like I had my best season this year. And since the roster turnover, I felt like our team did as well. Just a disappointing ending to it.
Hey, Dame, I know it's only been a few weeks, but you said a minute ago having a baby has changed you, changed your perspective, put things in.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? How has it changed you?
I guess I just don't, or I haven't held on to things the way I used to. Like, the best example was after the road trip where we lost all 4 games. Usually in that situation, like on a plane, I'd be watching every game just upset about every little thing. And then I get off the plane and I hold on to it. And I watched the games and I was just watching it from I guess a more relaxed place. I was just kind of seeing what was going on. But I think I was doing that just with the energy, knowing that I was finna go home and, like, you know, I remembered I got a son at home, and it just does something to me. You know, it gives me a different type of energy.